All right, free radicals of all shapes, sizes, colors, denominations, orientations, educations, and even party affiliations. Welcome back. My name is Dave. I'm the Radical Independent, and apparently so are you if you are watching this channel. Wow, thanks for the support on Patreon, via PayPal. You know who you are. People who've donated this week, much appreciated. I can't do this without you guys, so I definitely need your support because, as you know, the revenue stream for my channel isn't exactly, worthy of a yearly salary. Might be okay for somebody who has a hobby, but I currently run 3 channels. So also don't forget to check me out over on Rockfin as well. I did a video yesterday about our quagmire, which is Afghanistan. And some crazy stuff came out about that yesterday. It's one of the reasons I support Tulsi Gabbard, because there's no bigger issue on planet Earth than endless war. If you care about climate change, you can't care about climate change and be for endless wars. The two don't go together, okay? Nobody's talking about that. You got Tom Steyer, I'm a climate bug. You got Mike Bloomberg, yeah, climate change, really? Because both of those guys, I almost guarantee you, both of them would ramp up all of these operations around the world. This is how they grow the economy here in the United States, because they can't do it anymore the traditional way where small businesses sell products to people in their local communities. No, instead we get these giant military contractors who apparently need, a market. And this has been going on for a half century. And most people don't even know it. So in this video, though, I want to talk about how if you're a Tulsi supporter, okay, the friend of your friend may not actually be your friend anymore. Because Bernie people are starting to get a little bit anxious, all right? They see, well, if the Tulsi people would just switch to Bernie, if Tulsi would drop out and do the honorable thing, and her supporters, by the way, a lot of her supporters aren't going to go over to Bernie. Some of them will. I have pledged that I will do it if Bernie is the nominee, but we'll see how this all shakes out. There is a possibility. There's still a small window where Tulsi Gabbard could catch fire, and I think that window is New Hampshire, and we'll see how she does in New Hampshire. I think she's going to be a pragmatist. I think she's just going to be Tulsi. She's not going to be told what to think, what to say, what to do. And this is the other theme, that people who really aren't that heavily invested in Tulsi Gabbard, for whatever reason, trying to micromanage her and trying to tell me and other people what Tulsi ought to think on certain issues. We've seen it like Medicare for all. We've seen it on Bolivia recently, and that I was just so angered by that. I mean, there's this one commentator, it's the end of the world if she doesn't come out with a declaration. And I'm just like, dude, it's not the end of the world, number one. Well, she's going to lose foreign policy credibility. No, she isn't. She's still, if she said nothing on Bolivia, her foreign policy would still be light years ahead of Bernie Sanders and everybody else. All right? So it's just ridiculous stuff that's happening. I don't know if it's just people, when they get in their little bubble and they want clicks and they want views, that they have to just continuously go down this lane where they go so far down the lane they don't make any sense anymore. Another case in point, somebody was talking about the IsraelPalestine thing and how Tulsi just hasn't really been clear on this at all. And, there are pictures of her with, Sheldon Adelson, or whatever the guy's name is. Sheldon Adelson, I guess he was a guy who supported, Newt Gingrich and probably Trump as well. I have no idea. But, he's the guy who's super pro-Israel and has a ton of money and so forth. And people are doing this whole guilt by association again. I think she was in the building. They wanted a picture. She obliged. And, oh no, this is like the TYT smear on Tulsi Gabbard. She took a picture with this guy. Okay, but the issue itself, Israel and Palestine, there are people like, well, there should be a one-state solution and it's just Palestine. I'm like, good luck with that. look, I'm definitely for the idea of a two-state solution. I'm also very much aware that we are tied up by Israel. We are too tied up by Israel, and our foreign policy, it has to line up with what Israel thinks and so forth. And I'll go a step further, obviously, and say that why are we sending Israel, money or weaponry? I mean, supposedly they build all this great stuff and they've got great security. So I don't understand why we're helping a country that's, not down on their hands and knees looking for help. They're not a third world country. That baffles me. I mean, I get it. We've got a relationship. You'll hear from all of these, geopolitical experts. Well, they're the only real democracy in the region and we need to support them, blah, blah, blah. But what they're doing to these Palestinians with these open air prisons, it's a fact. Okay. And that's where you have to kind of have a little bit of independent thinking going on. All right. And by the way, is this the issue you die on the hill for? Do you climb the hill to die for this issue? Same with Bolivia. I can go on. Medicare Choice versus Medicare for All. Oh no, we didn't kill off private insurance entirely. By the way, Bernie's plan, it allows for private contracts. And if it's just between the doctor and the patient, and let's say the patient has money and they want to pay the doctor directly, that's their form of health insurance, okay? Libertarians would love that, by the way. Costs would probably come down too, but I do think people ought to be insured. If they can't get insured, I do believe they should have access to health insurance. It's humanity. It's just the humane thing to do. Is it a human right? I don't know if anything is a human right these days. I don't know if you've got the human right to breathe the air that we've got, right? Who knows? I do think it's the compassionate, a humane thing to do, and I think we ought to be doing it. But all of these issues, it's like the Monday morning quarterbacks come out, and you're thinking, I thought this person liked Tulsi Gabbard. And I'm seeing this too within even her own supporters are questioning, like this debate move where, hey, Tulsi, I sent you money. How come you're not going to the debate? You should be going to the... First of all, she hasn't qualified for the debate. I think what Tulsi did was put the whole thing to bed because she probably got so irritated with the Boston Globe poll not being counted, where she's at 6%, which is qualifying, and she should be in. Based on that, largest newspaper in New Hampshire, most comprehensive poll, she's at 6%. So she said, you know what, I'm just going to do this. She didn't even want to go to the last debate. She was sick, and she went anyway because, it's kind of like if she had just stuck to her guns. She was sick as it was, and she probably could have stayed home and gotten better and been able to hit the campaign trail sooner. Who knows? But I'm just witnessing all of these Monday morning quarterbacks coming out and just talking about how they know better, how they're trying to make Tulsi into a better... And meanwhile, as they're trying to make Tulsi a better candidate, supposedly, they're all really just waiting for Bernie. They're all just waiting for Bernie. So again, I would say this to those people. If your idea of bringing more people over to the side of Bernie Sanders is to berate Tulsi Gabbard or her supporters, that's not a good strategy, okay? I've said I'd be willing to vote for Bernie Sanders, but if the people, and see this, maybe this is guilt by association and it's unfair, because I don't think Bernie himself is this way, but there are a group of his supporters that are borderline anarchists and people who would not fit in a civil society. They, if you're truly into peace and aloha, this is what you should be for. This isn't, and people take issue with the whole aloha thing. They don't like it. They want her to drop that and to, oh, well, why would she say something nice about Joe Biden? Why would she say something nice about Ellen DeGeneres or Barack Obama? You go down the list of people she's defended, and these people start pulling their hair out. Well, they're all war criminals. Okay, well, so is Assad, but you're okay with Tulsi Gabbard meeting with Assad. Well, she didn't say anything glowingly nice about them. No, what she was saying is that we should have civil discourse. Well, no, we shouldn't talk to anybody. We shouldn't talk to anybody who we feel has done an evil thing in the world, and a war criminal is a war criminal. Okay, all right, point taken, but at the end of the day, it's still not who she is. You may, and if you don't like it, then this is what you do. Stop critiquing Tulsi Gabbard and just go support Bernie Sanders. Okay? Because Bernie Sanders, you think his foreign policy is not going to be neoliberal? I can almost guarantee you Bernie Sanders will run this country. He'll try to draw down troops. He'll try to do things, but then he's going to get briefed. He's going to hear about, the carnage and so forth. He's already hinted around that Maduro is an evil guy in Venezuela. He's said a lot of stuff that is really just right out of the MS-DNC playbook. And we all have concerns about that. Is he great on domestic policy? Yes, he is. But his supporters tend to harp on issues that independents and some Democrats, most of the neoliberal order, and most of the And by the way, I'm not saying that you can't talk about those issues. I'm saying that you have to pick your battles. Pick your battles. And if you want to win this election and you want to bring even just a small sliver of independent and progressive ideology into the mainstream, which is going to be a tall order, then guess what? Again, you have to temper your language. You have to explain what you mean. And you have to be somewhat civil and cordial with people. Otherwise, it's a failure. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Your movement will die because people will look at it and say, oh, those people are crazy. All right? And that's the truth. Tulsi Gabbard, why she is liked and respected by pretty much the entire political spectrum is because she's different. Because she, as Meghan McCain, fortunately it's her who said it, I have to quote her, is that she respects people. She listens to them. She may not agree with them, but she respects them. She gives them the time of day, and she doesn't insult them or call them deplorable or say nasty things in general. She listens to all sides and formulates her own opinions. You already all know this stuff. What I'm saying is you need to be wary of these people who are kind of wolves in sheep's clothing. This is the best way to describe it. Who say, yeah, man, they put their arm around you. Hey, I'm on your team. We're friends. And then they got a knife in the other hand and they're ready to just put it right in your back. Really weird stuff. I get it. It's politics. It's messy, but this is messier. This is messier than ever. And again, not to just, if Tulsi, a lot of these people, Tulsi has no chance of winning. So why are you so concerned about Tulsi Gabbard? Because we need her supporters to all get on board with Bernie. Well, there's a better way to help that along if that's your end goal, okay, your end game. It's just, I don't know. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot about human behavior and about ego and about thinking that you're right. Humility, like some of these people have absolutely no humility. Well, I've got it all figured out. I've got a position on everything, and Tulsi needs to get on board with those positions. Why do you care? Just go over to Bernie. Go support Bernie. And if you don't like Bernie, then it's time maybe you join the Green Party. Join the Libertarian Party. Find a home where your ideology works for you, where you can wake up in the morning and have a clear conscience. Okay? I'm not telling you what to think, but I'm also a little perturbed that you're telling Tulsi Gabbard how to think. All right? And that's, in the long run, it's a failure. Some of her supporters are going to say, these Bernie people, I mean, it's like the Gandhi with the Christ and the Christians. I like your Bernie Sanders, but I don't like your burners. It's that kind of thing. So that's my video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting Patreon, PayPal, all the places that you support me. Rockfin, don't forget, did a big video yesterday on the war in Afghanistan and how it's useless, pointless, and has cost us like $1 trillion, and there's no accountability, and we just continue to do it. Washington Post, of all places, put that article out. So one of the most important articles of this decade, at the end of this decade, and we are not planning on doing anything different. You elect Tulsi Gabbard, I guarantee you that war is going to come to a screeching halt. If she can't do it, nobody can. And at that point, we need to all kind of like march on DC or something to get it to end. See you soon.